It's Belinda from Beautiful Fibers, and this is the second episode of my YouTube channel, which is still very new. Oops, I was looking at the wrong spot. I'm sorry. This week, the last episode, I spoke about items that I knit or created using prompts that were put out by Angela of Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. Every month, Angela does a dice game where she rolls a die and she picks what item she's going to work on. So that's what I did in my first episode. However, I am an avid knitter, crocheter, crafter, whatever. And I don't always just work on one thing. So I made a few other things and I want to talk about that this week. First thing I made, once again, I mentioned in my previous episode that I rarely buy yarn. I haven't bought yarn in about 2 years. I think I've bought twice in 2 years because I have wonderful friends and family who give me yarn. I don't need yarn anymore. I don't need any more yarn because I have so much and I love it all. And I really have a strong desire to use it because it's just beautiful yarn. So once again, a family member gave me yarn. She knows that I knit and she had yarn that someone else had given her and she brought it to me. So this is Loops and Threads Cozy Wool. Put it in front of my face. This is like a super bulky yarn. I rarely knit with yarn this thick, so I had a hard time figuring out what to make with it. What I ended up doing was I actually used the label on side, and the label inside had instructions for making this cozy cabled hat using size 11 and 13, US size 11 and 13 knitting needles. And I tried to make that. Well, I did make it. And this is the hat. I will try it on. I plan to wash these before I donate. These hats will be donated, but they will be washed before I donate them. So sorry about my braids. Okay. So anyway, this is the cozy hat. And I liked it as a hat. And the pattern was super easy. I loved it. It was great. It went quickly because of the big needles. However, I used up the entire skein and part of the second skein. So my cousin gave me, I think, 6 skeins altogether. And I don't know that there's enough left in this skein to make another one of these hats. So I happened to find another pattern from another YouTuber. Her name is Jen from Stash Down Diaries. She showed a hat that she had made in the past using the Hogsmeade pattern. Hogsmeade pattern is by, I wrote it down. Hold on. AuntyKaren Knits is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I like that one. I think I made the second size, which is this one, and this one did not use up even an entire skein, which is great. So I have this much left over, and I believe I have more of this color too. So I think I'm going to make another Hogsmeade hat with what's left over because I made the second size, so there is a smaller size. And I will also use the remainder of this to make a Hogsmeade hat. So that will be hopefully 4 hats to be donated. And then I also have, I think, 3 more skeins. So these were so quick, like so quick. This one I think I finished in maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. It was just a really quick, fun knit. So I think I would like to do another, I don't know, 4, 6 hats. I did mention previously that every year we have like a winter accessories drive at our local library. I help facilitate. I work with one of the librarians and we coordinate a donation box and the community members will knit or crochet or weave winter accessories that get donated to our local organization that helps families in transition. So I always make it a quota for myself to make at least 12 items. I assign a quota to my mom to make 12 items, so she crochets. And then my son, my oldest son, recently learned how to crochet, and he came up, he's an overachiever, so he ended up doing like 24 items last year. So I didn't have to give him a quota. Hopefully this year he'll contribute also. And then I have a second son, and he knits, so he didn't make any for last year, but the year before, he did a quota of 12 or 13. So I was really appreciative. So we ended up with a huge box. We ended up with a huge box of knitted items, knitted, crocheted, woven items to be donated, which is wonderful. I love that. So that's what's going to happen with that yarn there. In the meantime, the other finished item that I worked on, this is my year for participating in make-alongs because I've never really done it before. So my second finished, well, third finished item is a little tiny gnome. I made it using the pattern, make sure it's in focus, using the pattern No Fun Like Gnome Fun by Sarah Shira of Imagine Landscapes. I think he's adorable. This little guy, it takes like an hour and a half, but I've been knitting one a month with the goal of hopefully having 25. I would like to one day have maybe like an advent calendar and you open up each little calendar and you put a little gnome. I think that would be so much fun. Anyway, that's what this little guy is. So that'll be like 2 years down the road because I'm only doing one a month. But anyway, this little guy is so cute. Oh, sorry, I keep shaking him. He's adorable. This yarn came from Stash. This was yarn I used in the past to make socks out of. This was yarn that I bought in a kit, but I ended up never using it in a kit. This was from Toad's Hollow, I think, maybe. I will put it in my show notes, but oh, the yarn is wonderful. And this little beard was a little, it was made from leftover sock yarn. Yeah, leftover sock yarn. I love knitting socks. So I usually have a sock project on the go at all times or washcloths. It usually lives in my car. So, which gives me a nice transition to washcloths, which is my next finished item. This is typically how I knit my washcloths. This yarn is Dishy by Knitpicks. Was given to me by a great friend, Nikki, if you're out there, hi and thank you. Given me to my great friend, and I just have to weave in the ends. My daughter will be a junior at college this year, so I plan to give her the washcloths so she can have to take with her. So I'll weave in the ends and finish up for her. Typically, when I knit washcloths, I'll do maybe 6 rows of garter stitch. And then I'll do the rest in stockinette, which is knit on one side, purl on the other. But then I'll do a border of garter stitch. So that's my typical way of making washcloths. I generally use like, I don't know, maybe size 6, size 5 knitting needle, US size. And I will cast on like 40 to 50, you know, depending on, I'll just eyeball it. I don't have a set pattern. And I'll do that. So this was washcloth number 1. Washcloth number 2 is one that I've always wanted to try, but I don't think I'll make any more. So this washcloth is the grandma's washcloth. It's on Ravelry, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I always hear a lot of knitters using it, and they seem to really love it. It was fun to knit. I love knitting it. The thing that concerns me is that since it's knit on the bias, it's so stretchy. I'm worried about how it will hold up. So this will be a test washcloth. I'll make sure I ask my daughter, how does it hold up? All of the cotton washcloths shrink when you wash it, so I know that that's going to happen. But I wonder if it's still going to be as stretchy. So with the grandma's washcloth, what you're doing basically is you're starting with 3, and each row you increase until you get to the size that you want. You'll knit like 3 rows, and then you'll start to decrease. So this is the grandma's washcloth. So I don't feel like I'm giving anything away. It's a free pattern, and that's generally what all of the diagonal projects do. You'll increase every row, get to a stable amount, and then start to decrease. So this was washcloth number 2. Washcloth number 3 is still a work in progress. This one I decided to just make all garter stitch. So I'm going to do all garter stitch, but it's going to be just straight across. So it won't be as stretchy as the one that was knit on the bias. When I say bias, it means like corner to corner. And I don't usually do all garter stitch, so once again, this will be a test for my daughter. I'll ask her to let me know how it works out and what does she prefer. I've been knitting my own washcloths / dishcloths for years. I don't even think we have any commercial washcloths in the house any longer. They last forever when you use them like either to bathe, wash your face, or wash dishes with. And then when they get to the point where you don't want to use them any longer for that, they make great cloths to do cleaning the house, dust cloths or whatever. And when they get to the point where they don't do that anymore, I cut it up and sometimes I compost it, you know, because it is 100% cotton. So depending on how much color's in there, I use a lot of just natural. So if it's natural, I compost it. And this is all that's left of this one. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to run out before I get finished. And I do Frankenstein type washcloths where I will just mix another one in. We're using it for home. It's not going to be a gift. My daughter doesn't mind. So I'll just finish it up as a Frankenstein washcloth. Or it's a combination of different yarns, and that will work. So this was one of my works in progress, which we call a whip. So that's one of my items. So that will be finished by next month. Most likely I'll start another one. All right. The final item that I worked on, well, actually I worked on another one, but I didn't bring that to show you. But another item that I worked on is called the Skrabucket. And the Skrabucket is, let me pull it out. Hold on. It is a reversible little bag, right? So it's reversible. It's knit using sock yarn held two together, or fingering weight yarn, I should say, fingering weight yarn. I have this with, let me find, this yarn given to me again by my friend Nikki. I've never had orange. I'm not an orange person as far as clothing goes. I love orange, the color, but I couldn't picture myself having orange socks because I don't wear orange. So I combined this with my leftover yarn from my stash, and I did this side. This side is that yarn, which I don't have the ball band for any longer. I apologize. I combined that with leftover Fleechy yarn by Knit Picks, and the Fleechy yarn is a yarn that changes colors as you go, and it's just really pretty. So you can see all the stripes there that have changed. So that's one side. And then the other side, which isn't complete, it's almost done. I combined that same yarn with a Halloween type yarn. This Halloween yarn is by Biscotti Yarn, I believe. And it's a self-striping yarn, and I like it. So this will be, my plan is this side will be for fall. I can put my fall knitting projects in on this side. And then as it gets to the month of October for Halloween, I can put my project, turn it this way. So I'll have that side there. So I'm in my decreasing section now, so I'm almost finished with this. It should be finished in August. This pattern was by the Passionate Knitter, the Passion Knit Spinner. I will put her information in my show notes. And this was fun. I found out about this pattern through Angela from Yarn and Yarns. She's knit a few of these bags, and I thank her for it because this was such a fun knit. It is such a fun knit, and like so much fun. I really want to do another one, but I mean, how many bags do you need? If that's the other thing too. I rarely knit just for myself. Most of the time when I knit and I give the items away, and I guess it depends on how many people would want it. If someone expressed an interest in it, my older son, he goes rock climbing, so he did express an interest in having a bag like that, but in different colors. So I have the black already. So all I need to do, he wants dark colors. So all I need to do is look for a lighter color in my stash and see if I have a lighter color. Not a lighter color, but a second color, meaning maybe like a dark blue or like a dark red or something to combine the two together. So that will be for my my other son. So that will give me a chance to make another one. He doesn't want these proportions exactly. I think he wants it to be more narrow and taller to use as a chalk bag maybe? I'm not sure. I haven't gone rock climbing yet, so I don't know. But anyway, I think that's what he wants to do it for. That is all of the projects that I worked on this month. Other than what I talked about previously. I do want to mention one thing. In addition to knitting and other handcrafts, I am a voracious listener of audiobooks, consumer of audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I very seldom, probably in the future, I may not talk about them as often because I generally read or listen to the same genre. And for me, they're great. I love them. But I don't know how everyone else feels about them. However, I do want to talk about this one in particular. It was recommended by a friend. The book was called, she actually told me about the show first because the book was made into a series on Netflix. but the book was called The Keeper of Lost Causes by Jussi Adler-Olsen. It was made into a show called Department Q on Netflix. I loved both of them equally. They both have the same premise. They both have the same storyline, but the details on both are different. So you know how when you read a book and then you watch a movie, you say, "Ah, it was nothing like the book," and you think the movie is inferior, or opposite, you might think the book was inferior. In this case, they were very similar but different, and both amazing. So if you have the opportunity to read or listen to Keeper of Lost Causes, and then watch the movie, or the series, Department Q, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I found them both enjoyable. It's all about a detective who was injured in the line of duty, and when he came back, his department head put him in charge of his own department, and his department consisted of other people that were kind of floundering, I would put it that way. So, I don't want to give a lot of detail about it, but one thing that I thought was interesting is in the book, the setting is Denmark. However, in the TV show, the setting is Scotland. And I thought that the writers did a great job of transitioning one to the other. It was just amazing. I think that will be it for me for this week. And I thank you all for listening to me chat on about my knitting, which is like my first love, other than my kids, I guess. And hopefully I'll find something interesting to put at the end. I'm still very new to this. I don't know how to do edits or anything. I have to get my kids to help me. And that's it. I hope you have an enjoyable week, month, crafting. And let me know, what do you enjoy doing? Do you read books? What do you do while you're reading books? Let me know what you enjoy working on. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.